call the council meeting to order. Council member Martinez will be a couple of minutes late. Apologies for the mask, but I don't want to give you this cold. And I also don't like chewing gum in meetings, but it helps me not cough so much. So we're joined tonight by council member Schiltz, Mayor ProTem McFerren, and
I'm not sure if Brittany has this recording.
oh, that's right. We may need to wait for Brittany on recording. Are you recording?
No,
I can see.
probably not.
Thank you.
Then here's a lady saying,
It is recording.
It is recording? Brittany, are we recording?
Yes.
Okay,
I
all
was like, I
right.
feel like it's already on.
Thank you. So,
Down.
I was just, I think I was to the point on the roll call of introducing council member Dominguez. So, and council member Perizic is excused for tonight because he's working second shift. So is there approval of the agenda?
Motion to approve.
Is there a second? Is there discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. The ayes have it, and we will move to item number 3, approval of the consent agenda, which is the city council minutes from 8/5/2025. Is there a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. The ayes have it. We will move to item number 4, beer and liquor licenses. A 12-month Class C retail alcohol license for St. Louis Sports Bar LLC expiring 8/11/20, I think 25, but yeah, 26. Is there a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there discussion?
We haven't had any issues, have we?
No, they haven't been open very long since the new management took over.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Is there further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. The ayes have it, and we will move to item number 5, reports. The city engineer's report is part of the packet. And a very detailed report. Any questions or concerns about the city engineer's report?
I appreciate the report. And I think it goes into great detail, but I had discussed with city manager Geertz that I felt like it needed to be a little bit more clear and organized. I feel kind of like it goes into detail, but yet it's confusing to me. And also I just want to make sure that they understand that they need to maybe copy edit or something, because I had an issue with syntax.
Are there other comments about the city engineer's report? Hearing none, we will move on to the police chief national night out, and it's a verbal report.
Yeah.
Chief out.
I just wanted to thank people out with National Night Out, one lead in the city and stuff like that. That get everything coordinated, especially with Mac and Parks and Rec, helping get the bounce house set up, get everything out there. Brittany, she was great taking pictures. She even painted the paint me on the car and stuff, and that was great. Kelly Morrison, she managed that. You know, she always helped us out. Yeah, it's hard to keep Kelly away if we wanted to, but she's always a huge help to us. Artie's and Casey's, they for their donations and stuff. Artie's brought their food truck out and everything, and he's got music for the thing for us. And then the fire department, you know, just for them, you know, participating with us, and then just the community for, you know, coming out and making a great event.
It was,
Great event.
the police car was great. I
Yeah.
loved the,
Yeah, it's still paying like that in the garage right now.
yeah, washed
Nope,
up.
not yet, no.
Wow. I think you found a new like sponsorship activity
Yeah.
for city events.
Yeah, the kids loved it and stuff. I think there's, almost as much paint on the cars as there was on the kids and stuff there,
Yeah. And Brittany did do an excellent job of photographing and putting that up so that we could all see the things that went on in the event too. So, yeah, thank you. All right, as far as committee report, we did have a regular West Liberty and Rural Township fire meeting. The chief talked about some of the reports that are required and was going to mail those out. We also have been in communication with the fire chief about fire reports and getting that information to him. The next meeting will be in September and it will be 8th, I believe, is the date for that at 6:30, and it will be at the fire station. And again, those are meetings that are open that folks can go to. Next up, 3 of us in the room participated in the LEAP walking tour, and so we'll turn it over to Nora.
Great, thank you. Hi, everybody. I'm Nora Dwyer. I'm with the Muscatine County Extension and Outreach Service. And as Mark said, we had a walk audit that was here on August 5th. And we had really great participation, and just wanted to give you a summary of that and a few things that are going on. So I think I also have a report that came from, give you paper copies of these, and then also I can email that to everybody too. This just was distributed today, so it was great timing. Yeah, and so I'll send a email copy of that. So that was from Matt Berkey, who is with Iowa Bicycle Coalition, and he's the coordinator of the Safe Routes to Schools program throughout the state. So he came and participated in the audit. We did 2 routes. One was from a work route, basically from downtown to West Liberty and back around. And the second route was the schools. So again, from downtown and hitting on the schools. So the key thing about walk audits is try to identify things that can be improved in the community. And I think Matt mentions it in his report that West Liberty is a very walkable, bikeable community. And I think we've got some really great things going for you. And that is really has been the highlight of my year, to really cooperate and collaborate with the folks here in West Liberty. It's been a real joy. So you're doing a lot of really good things. It seems we did notice there are quite a few people who bike to work at West Liberty Foods. So the audit was done between 9 to about 10:30 on a Tuesday. So we could see that people were using bikes for transportation for whatever reason. But that is a really, it provides some positive impact because people are using bikes for transportation. And that can lead to a healthier community and some really good things down the road. There will be a full report will be forthcoming from the Iowa State team. They're just assembling all the data for that, and we'll get some more details to everybody on what that shows. And then from that report, it's really up to the city to decide what you want to do with that information. There certainly can be some improvements made. Some of the things that we saw were maybe some just general cleanup along some of the routes. And along with, I think it brings, the highlights were, what are the specific requirements that the city have for maintenance for either a homeowner or a tenant who's staying in that house. Are they responsible for trimming along the edges? And then also the idea of who's responsible for the actual sidewalk being put in. We saw some gaps in sidewalks in certain places. So I think that's all good information. And the participants commented that they saw their community from a different perspective. We tried to call out situations where, like, oh, would somebody who has a wheelchair or a walker be able to get through this intersection? Or is this curb difficult for somebody who might be handicapped or blind, or, you know, some of those kind of situations. So really trying to look at it from all levels of accessibility and some of those things. So again, I think you've got some really good things that are happening here. In previous times when I've been in West Liberty, I came through looking at your bike racks to see before we had, you know, gotten approved to fund the racks. And it was one of the days, I might have mentioned it when I was here before, that it was right when school was getting out. And really seeing a lot of kids walking home from school. And that's a great thing that you don't see in a lot of communities. There's definitely a lot of cars that they're pulling up for whatever reason. We're seeing that in a lot of communities, but there's ways to encourage people to walk more, or it seems like there's things that you are doing to encourage people to feel like their kids can walk home safely. So, and that's all the schools. It wasn't just elementary. So, so as I said, what's next is a report will be developed and shared. Recommendations then are really, you know, discussed in your city planning, and you know, what comes to it is really up to you to decide. We do have the next thing, we have some bike racks that are coming.
Yeah.
They're a wave style. So some of the research is showing that if bike racks are built into a community, that encourages people to use their bikes more. Because they see that I have a place where they can store them safely and have a spot for them. There's a wave style rack that's just over here by the pool, so it's similar to that. It's kind of a curve shape. I was in Iowa City earlier today for some appointments, and the number of bike racks that are in that town, I'm amazed. It's like every other block, there's a series of bike racks, but again, it gives people a reason to bike or to think about biking. So the next thing that would happen with that, those are to be shipped the first week of September. There's a little bit of a back order on those coming out. We've worked with 2 other communities. Wilton has put in 2 in their town. They picked them up and they put them out. And then Fruitland also has one at their city park that they put out now. There will need to be some follow-up assessments, so that'll be a survey. There'll be some kind of before and after questions, like, you know, and hopefully we can work with the city to probably like provide a QR code that might be shared on social media, and that way community members could participate in the survey, and hopefully we'd get some participation, and we maybe share it out through the school district or different ways we've done other surveys. Just to get as much input as possible. Questions like, did you know that we put in some new bike racks, or before these bike racks went in, did that make a difference on whether or not you rode your bike? So those are the types of questions that'll be asked. And just gathering some information. Our grant is funded through CDC, and their interest is trying to see if these changes actually impact the communities in which they go into. So that's the reasoning for that. You want to be able to identify some kind of change, good or bad, whatever that might be. 2 other things. October 1st is the Healthiest State walk, and that is organized by Iowa's Healthiest State Walk Initiative, which is an organization statewide that is encouraging mental health, physical activity. They're also responsible for the 5210 program, which encourages healthier living. The website's got a lot of different resources. Organizations, businesses can sign up as a group. They hope to get a group in all 99 counties. They did that last year. We participated in the walk, a lot of businesses and entities in Muscatine last year. So I think you guys have spread it through your social media. It's a pretty easy form just to sign up if you've got 4-H clubs or your Rotary Club, or anybody wants to sign up as a group, they can. Individuals can walk as well. The idea is to get everybody in the state out to walk for at least 30 minutes that day. The thing that we've talked about before is it's a perfect time if folks have been a little hesitant to walk with the heat and some of the issues we've had with our weather these days. October is a perfect time to get started before the weather starts changing and we're all huddled around our televisions when it goes dark and all that kind of stuff. So it's a perfect time to get started. The last thing just to share with you with full transparency is that due to federal funding changes, the LEAP initiative is pending. So we're hopeful that it will be funded. But the folks at Iowa State have done everything they can. And we hope that we'll find that out by mid-September to the first part of October. I'll be leaving my position the first part of September, just in semi-retirement for myself, but I'll still stay involved in the coalition and do some follow-up work with the assessments and some of those things. So as I said before, it's been really great to work with West Liberty, and it's just been a real bright spot this year for the extension service. So any questions or thoughts? Mark, you participated and
Yeah.
Phil's here, so yeah.
No, it was an excellent event, and like you said, we learned a lot about the community by participating in it. You will be missed.
Well, thank you.
We very
Appreciate
much
that.
appreciate
Yeah,
the interest and efforts that you put into West
Thank you.
Liberty as well. And I want to reemphasize the work that you did on the bike racks that will be coming in September. That you worked very closely with Phil, with
Yes.
We Lead on where we needed those and what we needed in the community. And so this, as a bicyclist, things I very much appreciate.
great. Well, glad to help. All right, awesome.
Yeah. Any other questions or
Mayor,
comments?
we'd just like to add that, public relations, Brittany Woodson, she is currently working on organizing a walk event. So we'll follow up with you, for the public, just doing some coordination on that,
Perfect.
so, the city can, market and participate and encourage
Great.
folks to get out. So
Great,
we'll
yeah,
let you know on that.
awesome. Okay, sounds
She
great.
also is a bike to work person sometimes.
Yeah,
Yes.
Yeah.
that's great.
Yeah.
Awesome. Super. Well,
Great.
thank you, everybody.
Thank you very much.
All right.
Okay, up next is 6A, vendor voucher claim list number 1 and the amount of $694,492.92. You might notice a recurrence of the number 9 in that. Is there a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, nay. The ayes have it, and the vendor voucher list is approved. Next, we move to item number 7, public comments and or correspondence, and it's the time that's set aside for comments on business that is not part of the agenda. And we ask that you state your name and address for the record and keep your comments to no more than 2 minutes. Are there any public comments? Are there any public comments? Are there any public comments? Hearing none, we'll move on to city council public comments or correspondence. I'll turn to council member Dominguez first.
I did get a letter from a resident in Iowa City. I'm assuming this person maybe saw the news and said what has happened to this young man and graduate of West Liberty High School is beyond cruel. Let me know if there's more I can do. So I appreciate that person sending a check, and I will be meeting with the Pedro family on Friday, so I'll make
Okay.
sure that they get it.
Okay. All right. Any other?
That was all I.
That's pretty important, what Mayor ProTem McFerren.
The only thing I received was correspondence from Mr. Deepak Giri in regards to the sidewalk
Yeah,
plan. And that's all I received.
okay. Councilmember Schiltz.
I have nothing.
Okay, Councilmember Martinez.
I received a correspondence from a landlord on Fifth Street. I reached out to Shari and kind of talked me through, and I talked with the landlord, and I think we got that situated. I don't know if she's gonna reach back out to set up an appointment with Lee. She said she might, she sent you an email as well. She said gonna try back and see if she can set up a time with you to figure that out. Also, we had an incident over the weekend at Llamas, was in contact with Chief Hauser. Yeah, I set up a meeting with the owners of that location. I think if I remember right, it's a co-ownership between two family members or something like that. So I'll try to get everybody on the same day, so we can all kind of see what solutions we can figure out moving forward with teens, pretty cause the disruptions over there.
Yeah.
I also got a message from Deary, with Deepak about the sidewalk as well. I think that's about it that I can remember.
Okay.
And Councilmember Martinez, I did just want to let you know that she reached out and spoke with Eddie
Okay.
as well. So she did have that conversation, and then I know Eddie was speaking with City Manager Geertz about that as well.
And I called and left her a message.
Okay.
All right. Any public comments or correspondence in terms of the city manager?
Mr. Mayor, I do have some public comments, but you were on a roll and I didn't want to interrupt the reports, and I was just gonna give a quick verbal update on a few things.
Okay.
If I can go ahead and take this time to do
Yeah,
that.
absolutely.
Public comments would be the same, Mr. Geertz, had been in contact with me and shared the communication with council, and continuing trying to work on a resolution. In addition to that, I know Wheelie Director Phil Least reached out, or he had Mr. Geary reached out to Phil, and Phil has tried to work with us as well in order to resolve the communication or the issues. Just with that said, I mean, this kind of goes in line with the walk audit and, you know, the sidewalk correspondence. So I just wanted to share with you that quadrant 1 was the sidewalk portion that we performed this year on our walk-ins or on our sidewalk inspections. Within that quadrant, there were 16 properties identified that had one or more squares that needed to be addressed and be repaired. Those letters were sent to each one of those property owners in March of 2025. Within that letter, it provides a very detailed step-by-step process for that, what has to be done with the property owner. And again, this is in line with the City Code Chapter 4, Section 7, talking about sidewalks and property owners' responsibility. In addition to that, then within that letter, it provides 60 days to complete the steps. By June 2nd, we had identified that there were still 7 properties that there hadn't been any communication, nothing completed. So at that time, a final notice letter was sent to each one of those property owners. 7 of those letters, we still haven't received any communication up until about the end of July, when we received 2 property owners reached out and wrote a letter requesting extensions and provided the reasoning why there were extension, because they did not want to just do 1 or 2, they wanted to do the entire sidewalk. And so at that point in time, we granted them the extension and then identified what we needed from them and the contractor and with the permit. Then the 5 remaining, my understanding then, just within this last week, then the contract with Lab Concrete, they won the bid, and then the work was then assigned to them from the Public Works Director. Since we had no permits, no communication, then our process is then to go and we complete the work ourselves. From there, then a handbill will be sent to the property owner for that work. So again, I mean, I think that kind of covers, you know, any questions from ISU, the WASP. What is the process, or what is our procedures that we have in place? In addition to that, I think hopefully that just kind of gives you a little more information about the process that may have led to, you know, an individual, or if you're getting responses from individuals in the community regarding those sidewalk letters. It is a part of a policy, along with the procedure that, we had completely adopted back in 2009. I mean, it's always been in place, but in 2019, I'm sorry, it was restarted and we identified it by quadrants. So then that year, you know, every year we go to a quadrant. So next year will be quadrant 2. There are larger areas. Now, again, I would just like to quickly say is that when we're inspecting, there is a checklist that's provided. Eddie Ortiz, he goes out and he does the first inspection, and then the public works director then oversees those inspections as a checks and balance. In addition to that, they mark those sidewalks, and then there's a lot of times we'll get a phone call from the property owner before the letter's even sent because they recognize that their sidewalk has been marked, or I think they clearly know now what that marking is, but for the most part, they identify that it's been inspected. It doesn't mean that every sidewalk is gonna fall based on that checklist. It may not fall in this season where it needs or meets requirements to be fixed. It may be close, but it's still within compliance. So I think on occasions, neighbors may think, well, why did theirs get marked and mine didn't get marked? And again, at any time, we always would welcome the community to make that call, and we can have staff go over and have that conversation with those property owners to better clarify, you know, why somebody marked this one, or why was this one marked, but this one wasn't. So with that said, I mean, that was just some information. I felt like it tied into what was done with the walk audit, and then the recent public correspondence that we had. In addition to that, just to quickly, yesterday was the last day for the swimming pool operations open to the public for swimming. And there has been a lot of public input and questions about, you know, what's gonna happen next year for next season. And so city staff and myself, we've been working on, we will have a press release or a social media post to identify, you know, what next steps are. In addition to that, we've created some Q&As, and then we will make sure we provide those to council. So if you are approached by community members, then that gives you a quick reference too as well for that information. And we appreciate the pool season staff and all the hard work that they did to make sure that we could stay open as long as we possibly could for the entire season. And every time I attended there, I always got good public comments and appreciated that. So, and then congratulations to Austin, Maine. He has passed his grade 3 certification. The grade 3 certification allows that individual, then as we continue to grow as a city, it allows us to be in a position to increase our water usage and to produce more water based on the size of our city. So we're not there yet, but we're not too far behind, and so we'll be prepared for that progress. And then let me just see. The only thing I can keep this all in our next, my next report, written report, but I would just like to say that Bill, Reese, and I will be going August 26th to Des Moines to meet with Debbie Durham. We've identified some key talking points for economic development and also show her appreciation for the Catalyst grants and the dollars invested and the work that's already been done and started here in West Liberty. In addition to that, to see what's available to us to, you know, for workforce and for housing and energy grants that could be available for infrastructure increase. So was that September or August? If I said September, I meant August.
August 26th.
26, yeah, gotcha.
And with that said, everything else is that Phil and I continue to be working on annexation on Highway 6. We are getting ready to get a podcast implemented for the city, so we'll be working on that over the next 30 days. And Clerk Hoffert continues to work through the ongoing challenges of the transition in ProTem. But she's doing a great job. There's been some additional training. And I think she's finally getting them to hear what she's saying on certain transactions, so
Good.
that'll make our reconciliation better, so.
Good.
That's it.
Okay,
Thank you for allowing me.
sure, thank you. Okay, city clerk.
We covered everything.
Okay, all right. So then we'll move on to old business. First is this 8A. Sorry, I have this enlarged since I steam up if I put my glasses on. 8A ordinance 2025-0715-12. An ordinance amending the code of ordinances of the city of West Liberty by amending provisions relating to water rates. This is the third and final reading. Is there a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there discussion?
I just wanna let everybody know that once this goes into effect, the next bills will show that on there. You can see that the date is July 15th, and that's the billing that's actually due in September. So just for everyone's knowledge, this will be on that next bill.
Again, call for any questions or discussion. Hearing none, the clerk will call the roll.
McFerren,
Yes.
Dominguez,
Yes.
Schiltz,
Yes.
Martinez.
Yes.
Motion passes 4-0.
Next up is ordinance 2025-0715-13. An ordinance amending the code of ordinances of the city of West Liberty, Iowa by amending provisions pertaining to sewer rates. It is the third and final reading. Is there a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Is there discussion? Hearing none, the clerk will call the roll.
Dominguez.
Yes.
McFerrin,
Yes.
Schultz,
Yes.
Martinez.
Yes.
Motion passes 4-0.
Next up is item 9A, new business discussion and appropriate action by the city of West Liberty, Iowa on the Event Street closure application from Father Guillermo with St. Joseph Catholic Church on August 31st, 2025 for a procession. So first up is discussion. Is there any discussion regarding this request?
Is this for their annual, like, food and gathering, or is this for? No. It's just the procession only is what.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh. His event request, I didn't ask specifically for. The entire event, but the only thing that he had requested was just for public street and for the procession.
Oh.
And then he had provided an updated map. That will get to the chief.
Okay, because I thought it was for their annual, every year they do that,
It is their annual,
you know what I mean?
like fundraiser.
Yeah.
Yeah, but last year they had it downtown, so this year he's actually doing it. On
Doing it
Sixth
by the
Street,
church.
by the church.
Yeah, that's how I understood it, because the procession would be a march from downtown to the church.
I thought he added,
Yeah, yes, so at the back of that event in the amended packet that I gave you, he has the updated portion of it from the original documentation.
Okay, so that's just wanting the closure on Sixth
in front of the church.
And it's not necessarily from the way that it reads, it's not necessarily an entire closure of that. It's just for the procession itself.
Okay,
Is there further discussion? Hearing none, is there a motion? Is there a second? It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Yeah, I have it, and it is approved. Next, we go to 9B. discussion and appropriate action by the city council on economic development program application by Ethan Anderson, Imprint located at 111 West Third Street in West Liberty, Iowa. Is there discussion? I will say that I thought the information submitted was very complete.
Oh, go ahead.
Well, Ethan asked me to just read a short statement because he's on vacation with his family. He just said, thank you for considering this grant request. I'm sorry, I'm out of town this week and can't be here at the meeting. I'm really happy to be moving forward on this project. We are planning to make some major safety and functional upgrades to our downtown building. It's been a complicated project, primarily due to the age of the building, proximity to neighboring buildings, and the fact that the power lines for several buildings are all running across our property. After a lot of problem solving, I think we have a good plan in place. And again, thank you for your consideration.
Thanks.
I do have a question and a concern. In reviewing the documentation, the bids include new electrical service to Wixbar, both upstairs units. Now, what concerns me is he's paying, and this grant will include paying for his neighbor's upgrade. And that is disturbing because that doesn't meet with consistency. I know that in the past, we've had issues like this come up with the resale store on Columbus Street, and they had a shared water line with the neighbor, the house.
Yeah.
And so that was a dispute, but in the end, they both had to update their water line.
Yep.
It wasn't one was paying for the other. When I had my water line updated, or when the city came through and updated the infrastructure on Third Street.
Yep.
Each home that was not in compliance or had a lead line, it was incumbent upon them to pay for their upgrade.
Yeah.
So what concerns me is why is this paying for the neighbor's upgrade when it should
Right.
only include the business property owner?
You know,
Well, I think in here it says,
Mhm.
Yeah.
in here it says that he will be contracting electricians at his own cost to perform.
Right.
Right,
for the
yeah.
neighbors. So the grant will only be for his building.
For the building.
Yeah, but why are they doing new electrical service?
I understand, I think where the mayor pro tem is coming from. I understand your question, and the concern, and I think the concern is for these grants to get approved, everything, the scope of the project has to be included in that grant figure. And I know, like, even if it's, let's say he spends $60,000, the city, you know, this grant reimburses up to 25,000. But I think it's a valid concern. I know the issue is the city's electricity goes from the telephone pole to his building and then feeds from there onto the neighboring building. And I believe that neighbor has said, you know, this is from Ethan, that, you know, well, if you're gonna upgrade your building, we shouldn't be responsible. It is a safety issue because, you know, I mean, I could reach up and touch the power line
Yeah,
back there.
yeah.
But I understand your concerns. If Ethan was gonna rip off that building and not put anything there, that neighbor would have to pay for that electrical regardless. So I see your concern, and I think that, and I don't know if the council, if the council to move forward with a grant would just request that the neighbor pays like for half of that. But in order for the neighbor to get power, it would have to go through, right now, through his. And the,
Upgrade.
yeah, and the city has already made some concessions, actually. I think Cody, our electrical superintendent, has said that the city will bury power like underground, so there's no longer a safety issue.
Right.
But again, I see your point.
Yeah,
Is there a way to like address that? Like, is there a way for the,
So.
like, with the neighbor?
Our electric super, unfortunately, because of the way the wiring or the way it was set up many years ago. Ethan is not able to upgrade his service, so we just recently, had this with Mr. Alt. And Mr. Alt upgraded his service, And there was some issues that we needed to work out with them because of the safety of the older infrastructure. And then in addition to this, we had Cody look at this, and unfortunately, I mean, we have to include, Ethan has to include because of the way that electrical is set up. He can't upgrade his without it impacting the Winks property.
Yeah, I get that, but the neighboring property, then it's incumbent upon them to upgrade their service. This shouldn't be.
This is
the
only
other
taking
property.
it to their building. It doesn't take the service with inside the building.
Because the service gets hooked up to the pole in the alley, right?
And the service, in order for them, in order for Ethan to update his service,
Right.
then he has no choice but to do the work to bring that service to the other property. The other property would be responsible for the work with inside their property
Yeah.
for the upgrade. So there's absolutely,
what I think what the mayor pro tem though means is it. Like the city shouldn't have to pay for like that neighbor's half. If Ethan is making the investment in his half, would then Winks have to pay for that other half from Ethan to their building instead of Ethan paying for it and including that in the grant? Would that neighbor be responsible?
They're not
the
included in the grant.
conversation with Ethan was,
Yeah,
it was a.
Exactly. They're not included in the grant.
Well, but I'm looking at this on the long run, that if someone has next to my property, something that is dangerous to my property, but they won't fix it and they're covered by it being existing. Why can't I pay for that? Which is what Ethan is doing, and he has to disclose everything for the grant. Including work that's being done that isn't included in the grant, which is the case here.
I see, but that sets a precedent to me, that sets the precedent for other property owners then to dispute. And so that's what concerns me is it's a mere, what, $3,200 to do, according to the bids, to upgrade electrical service for Winks Building, 3 service lines. And I don't know why it can't be like included that to the neighboring property owner that, you know, look, your electricity will need to be upgraded at that time as well, or you won't have electricity.
Because we can't disconnect their power. And that is the agreement that the neighbors had come to. Because we have no choice but to disconnect that power in order to upgrade the service. And so the agreement between Ethan and the property owner, that's between them. That is between him paying for that service to upgrade it.
So he agreed to that? I don't know. Did he agree to that?
I know Ethan wants, I can say Ethan wants this project to go forward, and again, I completely understand. I understand the concern, you know, that, again, it's an unsafe power line, it's unsafe to the public. That his service obviously is an upgrade to the neighbor's property too, so why should he, you know. What you're saying is why should Ethan have to pay for the full expense when it benefits the other property owner too? And that property owner should pay for part of it.
Well, exactly, and included in this, not only is, you know, he forking out money for it, but this also is included in a grant that the city is doing, so that's what even makes me a little bit more
So
uncomfortable.
his overall project cost.
Yeah.
I mean, he could simply identify within his project costs, everything that aligns with his building. And he can write the budget to identify if he makes the decision to cover the neighbor's costs. And then that's a civil matter between them. Unfortunately, well, his upgrade cannot occur unless he upgrades the entire system.
The
It's kinda like-
total cost of the project, and I'm sorry for interrupting, the total cost of the project is how much? I don't have the, 3,200 for that, but I mean the entire grant project. The
It's the 77,000.
77,000.
Correct.
And I know Ethan is gonna wanna move forward because he has to let the contractor know that it's been approved. Is there a way that the council could vote to not include, like, could we take that $3,200 charge out and approve the grant?
It's not
From-
in
It's not in the grant.
That's not in the grant. Oh, it's not in the grant part.
But it's in his bids, I don't know.
Well,
if the
Because he's required as part of the grant application,
Right.
he's required to provide all of his project quotes and the entire project.
I get
Yeah,
that, but
so
it's,
that's why that's in.
to me, it's still, to me, that says it's included in it.
So what we can recommend upon approval is the recommendation to update the application to remove the 3,200 as a part of his overall project request. So he subtracts the 3,200 from the 77,000, and then that removes that project from his actual application. And then the 3,200 portion of that project would be between him and the property owner as a civil matter.
Well, that's,
I don't think he
probably not. Probably
I think
not.
he just wants.
No,
to
I
get it over
mean,
with.
I mean.
Yeah.
He's still gonna go ahead, but
Right.
we're not including it in on his total
bet.
project cost.
I just go ahead and do it.
Is the
Okay.
neighboring property owner like aware of that?
Mhm.
He's-
Yeah, they've had multiple, and our city staff has had multiple conversations as well.
As of recent.
Mhm.
I just, I mean, I'll just agree to disagree, but I just don't want it to come down on the city in the future by setting an irregularity.
And that's all I'm asking, you know, if you want to have the application identify, or do you want to add an additional, when he submits his reimbursement, do you want it to be identified that his costs are strictly for his expenses for that building, and that the 3,200 is separate on him? That's what I'm,
But if we do that, then he won't be matched for that 3,200.
Well, he's,
Well,
it's
he
not
won't anyway,
anyway,
'cause it's
It
only
won't
up to
be anyway.
25.
it's not anyway.
Okay.
It's
that's
not
what I'm
anyway.
saying, he's gonna meet the $25,000 match
Yeah,
with the $3,200
Correct,
out, so.
cause the whole entire number is in 70 something thousand, so.
Yep.
He'll be over that 25 to me, but.
But I mean, I completely, I mean, I understand. Where you're coming from what I understand is, you just want it to be fair for every business owner, and you don't want a
Yeah.
business owner to pay for the full
Exactly.
amount of an electrical service that should be really split
Another
between
property owner's-
two property owners, and I think Ethan understands that, and anybody that would look at that situation would probably look at that and say, yep. They really should be paying for that half and that, so I understand, if we could take that part out. You know, if we could, I guess, hopefully approve the grant, but take out that 3,200, and then when Ethan submits the cost,
You can just make them, I mean, we can just have the motion, we make the motion that you approve the matching grant for the amount less the $3,200. Make that in your motion, and then
I think,
we follow up with Ethan, and then
Is that
that's how we.
That can be done?
Yes, because the way that it's written, you make the motion as to whatever you want it to be, so if you just wanna approve it and deduct that
Okay.
portion out of there,
That-
that's completely fine.
Then I'll go ahead and make that motion, deducting the 3,200 out of the total.
yeah,
I'll second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. And I think we had the discussion first, so we are now to a consent vote. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. The ayes have it. We move to 9C, discussion and appropriate action of the city council on an economic development program application from Juan and Yolanda Mraz. And it's located at 113 East Third Street in West Liberty. So is there discussion?
I'm gonna say one thing, and then I'm gonna turn it over to Yolanda, because she's here tonight too.
Great.
This is like the first like grant that I was able to help with from We Lead. And I'm really, really excited about this one and I'm gonna encourage the council to approve this one. Several months ago, Yolanda was outside looking at the facade and was talking about painting it with a contractor. And I went up and interrupted and said, what are you guys doing? And said, there's actually a matching grant to help you fix the facade up. You know, she was gonna fix up the facade part, but didn't realize that there was this grant. So I'm excited because we're kind of evening the playing field, right? Like there's people that own businesses downtown that don't realize that the city offers us an incentive to help people improve their buildings. And Yolanda and I started talking and like her and Omar are making a huge investment in this property. Like it's way beyond, you know, the grant. So not only is the facade gonna be fixed up, but also the interior part. And it's just gonna be a really huge improvement downtown. So I'm really excited about this and obviously gonna encourage you to support it. But Yolanda wanted to address the council too.
He came to me that day and I will have to say that I tried to get this before and I had some negative things for me. So I was trying to try to do whatever I could by myself. Like I told him I have two kids in college and I've been trying to help them out. So I was trying to do what I could and then he came in and tried to guide me to the right path and I was a little scared to do this, like I told him this is like a big thing and I'm happy to do it. And I just wanna say like thanks to everyone and let's see what they say.
Okay. Is there further discussion? Hearing none, is there a motion? Motion to approve. It sounded like a second. Councilmember Martinez seconds. It is a consent vote. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. The ayes have it, and congratulations. Excellent work by both of you. Next up is 9D, Resolution 2025-0819-275, a resolution approving updated job descriptions for paramedic, AEMT, public relations specialist, community service officer, technology service manager, police chief, police sergeant, police corporal, and police officer. Pretty long list here, and all of them were included in the packet. Is there a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Is there discussion?
Yes. I reviewed all of the changes and everything, but I did have a question in regards to, you have police chief, police corporal, and what is it, sergeant?
Yes.
Okay. That read pretty much the same, but what I was questioning is under the police officer's job description. If you look under training and experience, it stood out to me that the first thing under general requirements lists US citizenship and resident of Iowa or intent to become a resident upon being hired. And that's the only place I see that, and I don't know why that isn't either.
That's the base level of employment there, that's
Okay.
where everyone starts and stuff, so if I go up to the corporal, the sergeant, or the chief, you have to meet all those requirements, as you move up.
Okay, I wasn't.
It's at the bottom, that's.
Okay, I just wasn't sure because I was thinking along the lines, if you hired somebody from the outside, that wouldn't that have to still read for a chief and.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, so to hire you up, you have to meet all the same requirements as the officer, because that's what most of the other ones say, you have to meet the requirements of the, lowest level staff and stuff there.
Okay,
So you wouldn't promote up into those other positions if you haven't completed it. Yeah, you can't go to B, yeah.
I just didn't
yeah.
know why it had to be in there or if it could be stricken, period, because it's kind of.
Some of that's the requirements by LEA.
Okay, cause yeah, it just wasn't in the other ones, so.
Is there further discussion?
Have these all been looked over by Holly?
There's attorneys.
Is there further discussion? Hearing none, the clerk will call the roll.
Schiltz,
Yes.
Dominguez,
Yes.
McFerren,
Yes.
Martinez,
Yes.
motion passes 4-0.
Next up is resolution 2025-0819-276, a resolution to enter into agreement with ISG for engineering services for the East Sixth Street reconstruction project in West Liberty. Is there a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there discussion? Hearing none, the clerk will call the roll.
Dominguez,
Yes.
Schiltz,
Yes.
McFerren,
Yes.
Martinez,
Yes.
motion passes 4-0.
All right, next up is item 9F, preview of the September 22nd, or excuse me. September 2nd council meeting, and I don't have anything out of the ordinary. Can you think of anything that's coming up that's not?
Yep, we're currently working on a closed session for that meeting. There will be some updates regarding the electrical agreements that we had previously had Cody present with you.
All right. With that, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Is there a second?
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Is there discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. The ayes have it, and we are adjourned.